Assalamu alaikum. It's really a pleasure for me to be here today. And first of all, I would like to thank Iman, the organizers, for inviting me today in this edition of Arab Blockchain Weeks, and all the sponsors who made this possible. Also, thank you for introducing me. I'm Bianca Trovò. I'm a PhD candidate at Sorbonne University in Paris and co-founder of Antreview. And yeah, let's start. Yeah, to begin with, I would like to draw an analogy between blockchain and science. In particular, bringing up the two mottos, do not trust, verify, and nullius in verba. So the first one is attributed to Bitcoin, and basically it means that blockchain only doesn't rely on any trusted third parties. And nullius in verba is a motto from the Royal Society of London. And basically it means that you shouldn't take nobody's word for granted in science. So basically the idea of the fellows of the Royal Society, it is that you should actually withstand any principle of authority in science and only trust facts that are verified through experiments. And I think this is a really interesting thing because basically this citation embeds two main ideas in blockchain. So the idea of decentralization and of trust minimization. So the fact that, for example, in blockchain, again, we don't have any centralized authority. And also the idea of having a peer-to-peer verification, which is the core aspect of the consensus algorithm that allows to verify blocks and to add them on the network. So I see this very similar to the peer review process in academia, because blocks like scientific papers should be validated before entering, you know, the whole community. And oops, okay. And yeah, so with the blockchain technology, we basically moved from the internet of information, or Web 2, to the internet of value, or Web 3. The internet of information is based on data economy, which is basically founded around the exploitation of personal data. Whereas Web3 is based on the token economy. So basically the main idea is that you can program value into digital assets. And this value basically represents trust into verifiable computations, verified computations. And basically the users of Web3 are also owners of the value that they create. This is a very recent quote by Camilla Russo. And so this brings a question of what is considered the valuable in science, and who brings this value to science, and how we can capture it such that it is not dispersed. If we compare the Web 2 value chain and the Web 3 value chain, we can see that actually science is still stuck on Web 2, in the sense that scientists and reviewers are the ones that are making this value, which is extracted by academic publishers, who are the ones, the aggregators that make big profits. And this value ultimately is consumed by the scientific community. To quote Alexandra Elbakian, founder of Sci-Hub, reviewers and scientists work for free. They do not earn any compensation from the academic publisher. Academic publishers work as organizers of the academic community, but not as creators. So if we get a closer look to the absurdity of peer review, and here I'm citing a very recent article by Mark Humphrey, a computational neuroscientist, who points out all the flaw in the process of peer review. We can see that actually the main thing that brings value to scientific publications is the peer review process, without which papers are considered less valuable and are also therefore less cited. However, this peer review process has increasingly become time and energy consuming, and it is very slow. And so it is really problematic, especially for researchers in biomedical fields like mine, because the peer review process can take even months and years before a paper is published. And also, the whole process is not transparent, and occasionally episodes of fraud and misconduct have been reported. And also, the quality of peer review sometimes is not optimal, which brings also the question of who watches the watchers. So peer review maybe needs peer reviewing itself. So that's why we propose Ant Review. And just to explain the idea behind the name, basically, a final paper is like this verified block on chain. So it emerges from the peer-to-peer interactions between authors and viewers. It's more the sum of its parts. And like an ant colony, it's a complex system that cannot be reduced to the micro contributions, although the macro contributions are also very important. And how can we basically capture this value and make sure to empower those who bring it? We come up with this design for peer review as a public good and a community-driven activity. And the idea is to have a privacy-oriented protocol on the Ethereum blockchain with an incentivization mechanism where authors can issue a bounty for a paper to be reviewed, and reviewers can decide which paper they want to review. And if their review is accepted by an approver or by the community later, then they get rewarded for their work. So the idea is to bring transparency to the process, accountability, but also to make it private, anonymous, such that the contributors are not, identities are protected. So the process is double blind. And so the final idea is to have a gamified system in which the community of hunters can rank the best peer reviews through a voting system. And this is just a quick look into the architecture of the protocol with the smart contracts, integrations, and libraries. I will just go on this very fast. Basically, the main contract is Ant Review that implements a bounty system inspired on the bounties network. And then we have the private transactions on Ethereum through zero knowledge proof with integrations on Aztec network, and a native token called Ants that will become Zeki Ants once we also integrate to the privacy, which acts also as a reputation score. So it's not just a material compensation for the work, but also gives a rank of the researcher on the platform, kind of like an impact factor. And yeah, all these peer reviews and requirements are hashed, and the hashes are stored on Ethereum blockchain through the interplanetary protocol file system, which is IPFS, to guarantee proof of existence. And here I hope I still have some time. This is a demo that was recently made by my co-founder to show you a bit our MVP, which is available on Coven Testnet. If you want to try, you need a crypto wallet. Ah, okay, sorry. Is there a way I can share the video maybe? I thought it was showing. We'll just... Can you see the video now?
A bounty for scientific peer review. And then we can select a paper we want to be reviewed and the peer review requirements. And we are just, for this demo, we're just using sample paper, sample PDF. And then we need to specify an approver, so a user that will approve the peer reviews sent to the answer review created. So we can select the second account and specify here, and also we can add other issuers as well. And we need to specify the deadline for the reviews. In this case, we can say the end of the month, and we can issue the end review. So we need to confirm. And it's confirmed. We can check on the Coven Block Explorer for more informations. And here is our transaction issuance review with the log. So we can see the issuer here, the end ID, the paper hash. So this is the paper and the requirement have been uploaded to IPFS, and the hash has been stored in the smart contract, as we can see, and the deadline is the timestamp of the date we specified before. Then we can so we can see the ID 10 here, and we can contribute, found this bounty to allow more involvement to attract reviewers. So For the testnet, we created a faucet where we can get tenants. So we specify the address and we can claim the ANS to use. So and is confirmed. We can see again the block explorer. So this is just a withdraw from the faucet, and this is the amount and the receiver of the funds. And then we can check also here, and we can see that we got 10 ANS. To add ANS to the asset, I would recommend to use this add token, and here custom, and specify the address of the faucet, the ANS, the ERC20 token, the token symbol, and you will be able to see it on here. That you can find on GitHub, ANS review. So now we can fund the ANS review created by clicking contribute and specify the amount we want to fund. So let's say 10 ANS, and we say contribute, and we can confirm. So we need to first approve to allow the contract to send the ANS, and then so there are 2 transactions, and then we can see confirm here that we load. And this is the successful transaction. The function contributes that allow to send to fund the ANS review, and here we can see the amounts and the contributor and the amounts and the enter review ID and the contribution ID. So now we can simulate a peer reviewer. So we can switch account, let's say third account, and then we can is switched. So now we can fulfill the ANS review by sending a peer review. In this case, we will use again a sample PDF. Click fulfill and confirm. You can see here on the block explorer and is confirmed. So this is the function. Let's see if we can manage. Yes. So this is the end review. We have fulfilled the 10 and the review hash of the peer review. that have been uploaded to IPFS. So at this point, an approver specified at the beginning should approve one of the peer reviews and specify the amount, and this will get the reward for the peer review. This is still a work in progress project, as that is explained more in detail on the paper.
I will just quickly go back to the presentation. Yeah, so basically, as my co-founder was saying, there are still some aspects that need future developments. As you can see from the demo, we still have an approver that is going to make an acceptance decision on the peer reviews. So the whole platform is not fully decentralized yet, but we are working towards decentralization. And as a new standard of peer review, in fact, we would like to integrate with the FI services, because the answer review bounty can also work as a pool to stake ERC20 tokens, such that the community can accrue interest over time. And also we would like to transform ANTS review into a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization with ANTS governance tokens, following the model of Gitcoin. And in particular, we will push further the incentivization system by adding the ranking and voting for peer reviews inspired by quadratic voting, like LeapDAO did for a real voting scenario in Germany. So basically, quadratic voting is a non-linear way of expressing the vote, which emphasizes the preference, so the intensity of preference and not just the direction of the classical one-to-one vote. And this allows you to have a more optimized rank of the preferences of decision makers, and a more decentralized way with the upvote, downvote, which is implemented in status, where the information that ranks highly is valuable to the network of stakeholders. So it's also the one that is easier to take down by the community in a way that it prevents tyranny of the rich. And then, as you can see, we could switch easily from account to account. So the platform is not yet Sybil attack resistant. So a future implementation will be having proof of personhood. And I invite you to check out our paper on Springer Computer Science, published in March. And a big shout out to my teammates, Nazaret Massari, co-founder and smart contract developer, worked on the back end of this project, and Mitrashish Mukherjee, collaborator and front-end developer, who worked on the interface. Please join our community of hunters online. And also, I would like to thank all the programs that sponsored us and mentored this project, like ATH2 Hackathon and the Bitcoin Kernel Fellowship Program, the academic researchers that reviewed our paper during the Europark conference, and the pseudonymous contributors on Gitcoin grants that helped us pay for the publication expenses. And a small announcement: in 3 days, the Gitcoin grant round 10 will start. So if you want to support our Web3 project, quadratic funding is the optimal way, because even small contributions matter. And thank you for your attention.